Hi everyone, this is Dr. Catherine Kelly, and probably like many of you, I'm processing a lot of the emotions and thoughts and awarenesses that are coming through as the result of the election last night. And I've already had 4 clients come in starting at 8 o'clock, and all of them in different ways were processing their own emotions about this. Very tearful, very fearful, very concerned, confused, boggled, baffled, angry. All of those kinds of things are coming up. And I want to explain a little bit about, again, why this is happening. First of all, in my last few videos, I talked about the fact that this really is part of our evolution, that we are here experiencing all of this right now because we have to face all of the isms. So the sexism, the racism, basically all of the isms that, whether we want to believe it or not, we all have at least remnants of them because of our past, whether it's in this lifetime or past lifetimes, and then also the collective consciousness of history. And so the thing to think about is, the 9 months of the campaign, 9+ months of the campaign, were really primarily about us facing that kind of thing in order to wake up, to ask ourselves, why are we doing this? Why do we maintain these old thoughts, these old beliefs, these old isms? And so now that this has turned out that Donald Trump will be our president for the next 4 years, that fear that's coming up is essential also in recognizing our next level of evolution. So let me explain a little bit about this. So anybody who follows the law of attraction is aware that where we put our focus, where we put our energy, is basically what happens. And so the situation is Donald Trump capitalized and used the fact that people were afraid, and he stirred up more fear. He created more fear. So because emotions are very seductive and they bring you deeper and deeper into emotion, he played off of that. He knew exactly what he was doing. Excuse me. And it worked for him because obviously he had the voters follow him because they were so afraid of what would happen if he wasn't in office. So then you take the Hillary Clinton side, and basically people were also afraid, but in a different way, afraid that Donald Trump would be elected. So we've got this fear that is being intentionally stirred up on one side, and then this fear from the other side that basically was a fear of, oh gosh, what happens if he gets in office? And it came together to create the perfect storm of a very challenging outcome. And I'm sure challenging is a very small word for what a lot of you are thinking right now. But if you think about law of attraction, you had fear on one side, excuse me, and fear on another side, and it all came together to create this particular outcome. So in essence, we created this, and that's not a fun or comfortable thing to think about, but we created it. Now, on the other hand, universe created this as well, because apparently we did not learn everything that we were supposed to learn from the last 9 months of the campaign. Now, I'm encouraged because so many people woke up even more than what they were before, or woke up for the first time of, gosh, why are we doing this? Why are we calling people names? Why are we negating people's rights? Why are we XYZ? We could just fill in the blank. So a lot of people woke up, and including, Donald Trump supporters originally, and Republicans, a lot of them woke up. But also a lot of Democrats woke up to it as well. So this is not a party thing. This is a oneness thing. And that's why for the next 4 years, apparently we are going to be experiencing this as part of our next step of evolution. So those of us who have woken up even more, or woken up for the first time, have gotten there from the campaign. But as far as our evolution goes, we apparently need to have more of this in order to get tired of ourselves or our situations in order to grow and evolve beyond them. That's what our soul does. It evolves, excuse me, and we need that kind of external stimuli sometimes in order to create that. Now, this is a heck of an external stimuli, and I'm sure that the processing will be going on for quite a while. But I wanted to plant those seeds to help you understand that even though this is not a comfortable or preferable result, that we have to also make sure that we are staying in love consciousness rather than falling in further to the fear consciousness that has been stirred up as a result of this campaign process. So how do we do this? And so first of all, anytime you have a fear of, oh my gosh, what's going to happen with my money? What's going to happen with my family? What's going to happen with my job? What's going to happen with women's rights or racial rights or whatever it might be, we have to stop and change that thought to a love consciousness thought rather than a worry thought, which is fear consciousness. Much easier said than done, but that's basically what I spent my morning speaking with clients about. My 4 clients who I had this morning already, was how to catch ourselves and use that fear as a cue to shift it for our higher consciousness. And it is when we do that that we will reach oneness, when we will reach that compassion for the other person next to us or the other party or whomever it is that we have that fear about. Because that is where we are supposed to be evolving to. Not comfortable, not preferable, not easy, but absolutely necessary. And, I do tend to believe things happen for a reason. So there must be a reason why this is happening, so that we have to have this leader in office that basically is sort of the embodiment of a lot of the negatives that so many people did not really want. But it's a lot of the things that we have to grow beyond in order for our own evolution. So, first and foremost, every time you have a fearful thought, stop yourself. You have a choice to stop yourself and bring that into love consciousness rather than that fear consciousness. Because as the law of attraction goes, anytime we feed into that negative, that fear, that fearful kind of energy, we basically feed into it. We feed into it. We feed into it. And if you want to continue feeding into it, well, then we're probably going to have another 4 years of this after this coming 4 years. So keep that in mind. We've got to stay. This is our victory. I've always said that, and it sounds dramatic, but our souls will be our salvation. And the way they'll be our salvation is if we learn to go to love consciousness rather than fear consciousness. So if you want to think about this, Christ was basically about love consciousness. Gandhi was about love consciousness. Martin Luther King was love consciousness. Dalai Lama is about love consciousness. Buddha is about love consciousness. Any of the spiritual leaders are about love consciousness. And so we need to go down that path, not the fear path. So there will be more to come because there's lots to learn from this whole election process. But for now, turn to love consciousness, not fear consciousness. This is Dr. Catherine Kelly. If you want more information, go to my website at www.drcatherinetkelly.com, and please share this video with folks who you think are going to be comforted and helped by this. Thank you.